My Uncle Jim, he's been a problem in my side since I can remember. Well, I don't think he's fit to watch after his own son, so I'm going to go ahead and take him to court and try to win that son right from him. Today's a wild story, let's jump right into it. It hasn't been long since I finished my degree as a sales manager at Florida State University. After that, it's been really hard for me to find a job. I'm still 23 and I don't know how to find a job in my field. Because, well, I'm still a rookie to all that. I only get a few gigs at a few companies from time to time, but I still live at home with my parents. Every little bit of money helps me though. I still need to pay off my student loans, and they're a lot. As you may know, my parents can't really help me a lot with money problems. They have a lot of stuff on their own shoulders. But there's someone who always helps me out. Uncle Jim. He never really worked yet in his life. I mean, like never. He kinda smuggled himself through life and is always out partying. As a little kid, he was my idol. My parents, well, they didn't like him at all. Obviously, when I think about it today, I understand them more. Jim is still a party everyday mode type of guy. He's still hanging around clubs, and he's 45. The only good in all this partying is that he knows a lot of people. Well, not always nice people like drug dealers and others, but also rich, generous, nice people. He helped me find my current job. At a party not too long ago, he met a company manager. He found out he needed a sales manager at his company. My uncle told him about me, of course, and the manager incited me for an interview. Oh boy, I got excited. All that was when Claire was still alive. She was Jim's third or fourth marriage, and she had been married already and had a little son named Ben. Of course, she brought him with her to live with Jim and herself. Jim immediately said yes to all of that. To my surprise, actually, Jim isn't the kind of guy to just adopt a 3-year-old boy or get into a marriage that quickly, but I guess he was just after Claire's money, because I can't see how he could have loved her so much to do all that. Jim isn't really like that at all. A lot of times, me and my parents wondered why Claire would not divorce Jim. He wasn't a good husband, at least to all of us. He cheated, lied, and in general treated her like crap. Really. His love that we all saw at the reception vanished directly after the wedding. I think the only reason Claire didn't want to get away from Jim was his relationship with Ben. Apparently, it was a way better one than Ben's real father had. But if my uncle really felt that way about Ben, I don't know. He never has and never will be good with family stuff, and he never wanted one until he met Claire. So, about 7 months ago, Claire got really sick. We were all really shocked by that. And honestly, the only thing Jim was interested in was to set up a contract that he would get Claire's heritage, all her money. And one thing about that he didn't like, however, was Ben. He did not want to take care of his stepson. He wanted to use the money to party and travel the world, not on a stupid kid like Ben. Well, back to my current job now. It's been going really well lately. My boss was extremely happy with my work every day and wanted to give me a bigger job opportunity soon. That was about 6 months ago. I've been able to get my own place to live since I work there, and in general, my life has been much better. I have to work a lot though, but it doesn't bother me all too much because the money is right, and I don't know what to do in my free time most of the time anyways. With all the money and the little free time I had after working late, I still felt alone sometimes. When I lived with my parents, at least they were there. But now, loneliness sometimes really just creeps up on me. Anyways, all in all, my life has been going really well. But then, one day, my uncle shows up at my doorstep with Ben. That was about 5 months ago today. He wanted me to watch Ben for a while, and I agreed because I love my little cousin a lot, and I'd rather him here than spend time with his stepfather. Ben is totally fine with staying with me, but at times he misses his father too. He also doesn't like when Jim comes home each night with another woman after another party. It's definitely not the best way to raise a child either, but Jim doesn't listen to anybody, of course. He just does what Jim wants to do. After watching Ben for about 2 weeks now, I get suspicious. Normally, I take him like a week or so, but never longer, so this weekend I decided to bring home to his dad. Ben, you're going home. But as we arrived there, no one was home. I tried to call Jim, but he did not answer his phone. Probably out partying or something. I don't know what to do. I can't take Ben back home with me. I don't have the time to take care of him much longer. I have this huge work project coming up anyways. It's Jim's son, not mine. After hours of waiting, I finally got a message from Jim. He's not going to be home today, and I should take back Ben to the house with me. Great. What a typical move from him. I can't do much now but take him home with me, so I do that. After making Ben some dinner and tucking him into bed, I called Jim again. This time he answers. We talk for a long time on the phone, and I tell Jim to pick up his son and take care of him as he should, like a man. Jim just changes the subject like always, so we end the conversation right then and there, where we started. The next evening, I try to bring Ben back to my uncle again. This time, he took him back. But the next day, he stood right at my door again and wanted to leave Ben here with me again for a week, since he had some trip to attend to Vegas. I can't say no, so I take him. This time, what weirded me out a lot, though, Jim brought Ben's clothes, toys, and all of his other things. It was just a week, right? Why would he need all that stuff? Anyways, I brought in Ben's stuff, and, well, I told him I had to go to work now. I called the babysitter as always. She takes care of Ben when I have to work every day until I get home. I can't leave a little boy by himself all day, so I have to do it this way. I really don't know how to take care of a child anyways, but I have to do this for Ben. He can't be alone all the time. I try to make him happy every day. I cleaned up my storage room to have some space for all his stuff. Now Ben can play there whenever he wants to. At times it's nice to have Ben here. I'm not so alone anymore. But on the other hand, he's a lot to work with. I simply cannot take care of a child. I'm 23 years of age. The week went pretty fast, and Jim picked up Ben on Saturday as promised. But he wanted to keep all the stuff there for next time. I wasn't really bothered by that, so I just shrugged my shoulders and said okay. And this evening, the worst of all happened. Jim called me to come over to his house to talk about something. I went to him, expecting to have to take care of Ben again, but he hit me with some absolutely horrifying news. She wants me to adopt Ben immediately, or I would lose my job tomorrow. What? Did Jim drink, or is he just completely nuts? I can't adopt Ben. But Jim does not take no for an answer. He tells me that he's still very good friends with my boss and could get me fired any minute, just by calling him. Well, my thoughts are rushing now. I can't take Ben. He's my cousin. I can't adopt my cousin. He's too young, and I don't have the experience it takes. On the other hand, Ben would be better off with me than his crappy dad, and I can't refuse either because when I will get fired. The scary part is I know Jim can do that. He got me the job, so he can get me out as fast as he got me in, I bet. Jim and I fight a long time until he breaks down into tears to tell me he just can't take care of Ben. I would be so much of a better father anyways. Yeah, he definitely has been drinking, but he's right. I can't tell him that, of course. I just don't have enough time to take care of Ben. Jim did not want to hear anything and told me to either take him by tomorrow evening or get ready to be fired the day after. So, I go home devastated. I called my parents to ask them what I should do, and they said I should go to my boss and talk to him about everything, to explain everything and keep the job. And they said they think I should take Ben anyways. He's better off with me, and well, that's true. So, the next day I called my boss and told him everything. He understood and told me to take a few days off to settle everything with Jim. I visit Jim right after. Took Ben back to my place and decided to wait for what's going to come next. I can take care of him, but adopt him, I don't know about that. What's up, everybody? Mr. Reddito here. Guys, this story is pretty crazy. I do have multiple updates for this one. I hope you guys are having a fantastic day. If you're new to the channel, go ahead and subscribe so you never miss a daily video. And let's jump into the next update. Well, Ben has been living with me for quite some time now, and we've been having a lot of fun together. I found a way to get off work earlier, work from home, and still be there for Ben most of the day without having to stress. But custody is still playing a huge problem. If something happens to Ben, Jim has to take care of it. I talked to my lawyer, and he said that if Jim is okay with it, I take care of Ben, but without taking custody or adopting him in any way. If not, we would have to take this to court. Great. I really don't want that at all. I still can't focus on the thought that I'm not living alone anymore. It really feels like he's my son, even though he's not. Don't judge me, but I do treat Ben like my son at all times, even though it may seem weird to some. I don't think so. Let's get back to the court stuff, though. Today, we will decide who will get custody of Ben. I slept over everything again tonight and decide that I would fight for Ben. I don't want him to go back into this crap hole with Jim. He's really better off with me, that's the truth. I did it. I'm the legal father of Ben now. Jim didn't have a problem with signing the custody at all right away, and it didn't surprise me at all. And if you read my first post, you should know why. Now, Jim can go into all the clubs and get any women he wants to. I don't know how Jim can think life is so great living as he does. I can't imagine life being so great for him. Every day a party, every day a new girl in bed. I mean, for some, this may seem nice, sure, but I could just never imagine a life like that for me. Anyways, I just can't believe Jim gave his stepson away to his nephew. About 3 days ago, I get a letter from the court saying we need to discuss something very important. Claire. Oh, Claire. Claire had written a will right before she died. It concerned Ben, apparently. As soon as he turned 18, Ben will get a property of $500,000, and as soon as he turns 5, he's going to get $500 every month. The court wanted to let me know about it, and I'm really happy about hearing this. $500 every month helps a lot. Not that I would use it for me, per se. I will use it for Ben and for Ben only because it's his money and not mine to spend. To be honest, I'm actually proud of myself. I chose to act this way. I bet Jim would have used that money for drinking, and stuff like that. And of course, Jim has problems with Ben inheriting so much money. He wants it for himself as always, so he steps up into court, talking about how much he misses his little son, and that Claire would have wanted him to keep Ben, not me. Great. Absolutely great. He really wants to take Ben away from me because of some stupid money? Absolutely not. I'll fight for Ben every single minute of my life because I am and will continue to be his legal father. I guess another court appointment will be coming up soon, and, well, I'll keep you posted. Update number 2. Hey guys, as I mentioned in my other post, Jim really took the matter to court, and I got a letter today saying I should attend next week to debate the issue. I really can't understand why Jim wants his money so badly. He doesn't even care about Ben. Why would he want him back so suddenly and except, well, because he wants Claire's money. This really can't be healthy for Ben either. He's just a kid and he's being confronted with problems all the time. Everything was so good before. No one kept holding contact with Jim after they found out what happened at court, and everyone in the family was disappointed and mad at him for doing this. Jim also never reached out to ask how Ben was doing. I didn't say anything about it, but I had some thoughts. Ben is Jim's stepson, the son of his beloved wife. Even though I would rather leave the beloved part out, I really do not know if that was love or not. I also think about Claire and if she really wanted Jim to take care of Benny after she passed. Well, she definitely chose the wrong man for that when she chose Jim. It always hurts to think that she's not with us anymore and always wanted the best for Ben, while Jim only cared about money and parties. Back to court we go. Jim really wants Ben back. Anyways, I don't think he's going to win this. I'm very well prepared for court, and I think I'll definitely win this case, but I'm still a bit scared about the judge choosing Jim's side and giving him full custody of Ben. It also hurts that it all had to do it this way, today. And Jim really could have left our happy family alone, for once. He really has enough money each month to do whatever Jim wants to do. Why want more? Poor Ben. He has such an awesome, wonderful childhood since he's lived with me, and I'll not let Jim destroy this just because he thinks he wants Ben back. Never. I'll put it just like that in court. Jim's never gave a crap about Ben, and that's supposed to change now? Right after he finds out about the inheritance, huh? I also met a woman lately, and Ben's been getting along with her really well too. I don't want to let Jim take all this away from us. I love being a father, even though it did not seem so at first. I'm actually really looking forward to Jim's arguments. I can't wait to walk out of that room knowing I get to keep my son. But it still drives me crazy. The slight possibility that something bad could go down. Well, I guess we'll see. I have to stop overthinking so much and focus on the discussion ahead of me now. It's better for Ben that way. I'll keep you posted. Final update of the story. The day came, the day of the court meeting. I was more than prepared, and I asked myself if my uncle's just prepared as I am, or if he thinks he'll win this thing anyways. And as we entered the room, the first thing that shocked me was that Jim was not alone. He brought this weird, unfamiliar woman with him. She looked a bit older than I am, maybe 26, I'm not sure. But she's definitely way too young for him. Why'd he bring her? Did he bribe her with money? I don't know, and I don't have time to think about it right now. It doesn't matter to me. That's his life, not mine. I have the support of my girlfriend, my parents, and my lawyer. I thought now everything would be alright when Jim said something that shocked me right to the core. He really accused me of taking Ben away from him while Jim still had custody back then. What the heck? Of course, the judge looked at me skeptical, and I replied that Jim could have brought this up way sooner. He gave me full custody of Ben back then. Why would I have done that if I stole? Well, stole Ben away from him, as he put it? The judge nodded, understanding, and warned Jim not to tell any lies anymore, or he would be out of the room and the discussion immediately over. Then the judge asked why Jim actually wants Ben back in the first place. Now, listen carefully. His answer was that he was working too hard and could not have time or money for Ben at that time. Now, through the will of Claire, he would have that and could take better care of him because of that. I didn't know what to say to that. To my luck, the woman at his side dropped in on the conversation and added that Jim promised her all the money if she would come with him to court. She didn't want the money to go to that little brat. Well, I needed to take a deep breath to prevent myself from bursting into laughter. No way, she just said that, right in front of the judge. Jim looks at her and gets really mad. He knew his chance of getting the money was over now, and he sent the woman next to him out of the room and wanted to continue the discussion alone. I expected the judge to call off the thing right then and there, but she did not seem to have heard what the woman said. No, Now, Jim still had a chance. After another hour, probably, of discussing, Ben was told to come forward and tell the judge what he thinks of all this. I think it's awful to ask a 4-year-old of these questions, but it does help clear the issue, I guess. I hope Ben chooses me. What if he wants to go back to Jim? Was I not good enough father to him? I know that he still loves Jim at least a bit, but I also hope that he knows what's best for him. I really hope so. And guys, he did. Thank goodness. I can't express how glad I am right now. Another hour passed, but finally the judge made her decision. Would it be good or would it be bad? I'm exploding with nervousness at this point, and she decided that I get to keep Ben. And in addition, that she's made sure Jim could never change anything about me having custody over Ben. Ever. Again. He just had to live with it now. She said that she knew Jim only wanted the money and didn't want to take care of the child. It was obvious from the start. Jim still had the audacity to threaten me after court that he would make sure I would lose my job and everything else I ever loved. But I know better. My boss knows everything about old Jimmy boy and his behavior and would never fire me because I'm a loyal and excellent worker. And I keep Ben, my girlfriend, and my job. Even though Jim threatened me, it could never be better than this. Now you know the story, and to answer the following question, am I the a-hole? Because in my opinion, Ben has me as a loving father, and I think that's what Claire really wanted. And I kept Ben from growing up with my Uncle Jim, who definitely would not have been good for him at all. So, what do you guys think? I just can't think, what if Jessie was to lose the custody battle and the big bad wolf would have took young Ben? Guys, I would like to know your thoughts about this story. Go ahead and drop it in the comment section. If you're new to the channel, hello, my name's Mr. Reddito. I read stories every single day of some of the most dramatic stuff you'll find on the World Wide Web. So go ahead and subscribe. Thank you for joining today. I hope you enjoyed it, and have a great day.